Number one was for me to come to the reality that every job is temporary in nature. You know, here when you get a job, they say this is a contract, or it's fixed term, or it's permanent. Listen, even the permanent job. So, as much as you want to go with that permanent role, you're still thinking along the line of, okay, how do I make this? The other thing that came to mind was I came into the UK, and I don't know how many of you did come into the UK with your fantastic African CV. You know the typical African CV? How many pages?
5 pages.
Typical African CV. How many, sir? Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, by the time it's 10, you just started what? Counting. Yeah? Because for us, the more the what? The merrier. I did sample, you know, I took some CVs to some places, only to realize that, you know, I wasn't getting those calls. Unfortunately, and I think this is why I value this program that is being put in here, this partnership, this network. Because if you don't know, even the scripture says it. Wisdom is the wisdom is the okay. And if it is, then let's pursue it. And so it took me time to realize that my 10-page CV wasn't going to get me the job. There are key points being looked out for in here. So, your degree, your diploma does not equate to a golden ticket. Within the work setting, sorry, what's her name? Yes, please. Antonia. Why do you think, are you currently working? No. Oh, I like the way you just give me the no. It's like no. Okay. All right, Antonia, apologies. But why do you think somebody, an employer would take somebody on, as an employee?
Because they see something in the employee that they don't see in other applicants.
Okay.
So,
well, as it relates to money, funds, what do you think?
They want to spend in least amount.
Right. Okay. And if anybody is going to employ you, I'm sure the first thing that employer is going to put at the back of their mind is that they have enough. Or at least you're bringing enough business for them to actually pay your own what? Salary. Because I don't want to pay you from my own pocket. Yeah? So really for them, it's save money, you're making money, that's it. Okay? Within the workforce, it's all about solving problems. Do you know how many apps are being touted today? Not even being used. I was watching Dragon's Den, and a guy went on Dragon's Den and wanted to sell his app, wanted business and all that. And they said, okay, so tell us, how many people are actually using this? Oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, now can we put it to test? They put it to test. There were only 4 responses from the apps. These 4 responses were all the business partners. So the guys on the Dragon's Den said, okay, so these are your friends, responding to this. So that shows how good your application is, all right? So it's all about you solving the problem. That is what mandates or demands your employability. And then, you remember when you were telling us about Forbes? That particular profession, orthopedic surgeon, you ask yourself, so why are people just getting into the field of medicine and not thinking about that area? I'll give you an example. Currently in Nigeria, we have not more than 7 actuaries in the whole of the country. Yeah. In the whole of the country. Actuarial scientists. Not more than 7. So they know themselves. And their authority when it comes to.
Could you tell us what an actuary is?
Okay. In the field of actuarial science, they do financial modeling for insurance. So they are the backbones for all the big insurance companies. Tell you, do all the mathematics and do all the calculations to say to you, yeah, this will come. You like that profession too?
Finish explaining it.
And that's why, so they are specialist fields, okay? Because if they say to the insurance company, let's assume you've got Lloyds, and it's going to bring in, and they want to insure, this whole building. Now they sit down and they evaluate and they say to Lloyds, listen, this building is not worth more than £3,000 after 25 years. So the lifespan of that insurance should not be more than 25 years. They are authority in that field. It's all about mathematics. That's all they have on the back of their hand. And in the whole of the country, as big as Nigeria is, not more than 7. In fact, can I tell you, in the whole of Scotland, that course is actually done in only one university. Not just one. Only one university does that in the whole of Scotland. And of course, in England, maybe about 2 or 3 of them. The point I'm trying to make is this. You've got to carve a niche for yourself and see what value you can actually add to the job market. Okay? I'm going to share some talk with you. Oh, come on. Press. All right. I've got 4 people up here. Allow me to just share because please, I took permission from them before I could share. Yeah, I rang them up. Okay. There are people who have been under my coaching and mentoring, program, and we've been working, alongside. The first lady there, Franca, came to the UK, and her background back home was actually in communications, in mass media. But of course, she couldn't get any headway in here. So we started to work and we're like, okay, can you go back to your passion? What actually gets you up in the morning without a frown on your face? Right? What can Franca do till 12 midnight and yet she's still going? And she's not going, it's 5 o'clock, let's go home. And so, and I'm going to share with you, a website that she works on. She works on a magazine here in the UK. I had a chat with her, and she's really moving on and moving things progressively. The next lady there, Kenny, back home, did a course in business management or business admin. Came into the UK, could not, gel on 1 or 2 things. Decided to go into some level of project management training, but of course applied that now into events management. I'm equally going to share with you a website, Kenny Crafts. So, in fact, can I tell you something? She's busier than her husband. Pastor, you know why? The passion and the value she's adding on a regular basis. The cake and the events that she puts on. In fact, I did challenge her the other time. I said, Kenny, are you using your project management skills? She said, you know what? Because she stays in Derby, a store in Birmingham wanted some supplies. And so they took tenders. She said when she got there, she was just telling them, quality management system, the quality management system. She said by the time they finished, she said, this must be very quality. She must understand quality. Let's give her the contract, and they give her the contract. So she supplies on a regular basis from Derby to what? To Birmingham. She's expanding our horizon. She works from home. Tega, the young man that you see there, masters in banking and finance. Got no job, and so took up SIA security job. By the time we got to meet, it was like, this is demoralizing, I'm dying here. It's either I carry my bag and go back to Nigeria, but of course he realized that there was nothing waiting for him in Nigeria. In fact, at the point in time, he had uncle say to him, come over, we'll fix you. By the time he got there, nobody was fixed. The guy ran back here. Because if nothing is happening there, you come back to your base now. First job that he got is never, and this is where I need you to see where you are actually adding value and where you are breaking grounds. Never worked in the NHS. His first job was actually as a project manager in the NHS. A 6-month contract. Before the expiration of the 6-month contract, they said, please, we'd like to extend it. So they extended the contract. Before the expiration of that contract, that fixed contract, Tega said to them, I've had enough, I'm leaving. You know why? He got another contract, which was going to be paying him £300 on a daily basis. He's moved from that contract now and moved into service improvement. That is somebody that never knew anything. He never went to medical school, never knew anything about injections and what do you guys do? No, yes, okay. But you see where I'm coming from. So what we're saying is, can you identify a niche and latch onto it? I had 3 people from a family come through to the UK. And this is very interesting because the youngest of them is still in the UK. The other 2 seniors, they're back in Nigeria. When you hear people say to you, it is impossible, I think that is where you need to put yourself on the way and you say, right? I say to people, when you're told that there is a closed door, if doors don't open, what do you do? Eh? You don't, sir? Break it to the So the youngest of the 3, now the other 2 bigger ones did their master's program in here, just like their younger brother. But when they looked for work, they couldn't get it because they were looking for job just in these strategic places, in those here. I know. We do that in Scotland. Two. Okay. And so for them, it was like, well, we've had enough. They carried their bags and baggage and went back to Nigeria. And yet, their small brother, the youngest of them, was sponsored by a company, Tulip. Never heard of that company before. Only to find out that Tulip supplies cold meat to the big important Tesco and the Asda's, the big company. So they are like the backbone. So when you go into Asda and you go in, now the guys, the company that actually funds and gets all this, and so that company was ready, and they said, oh yeah, sure, okay. The young man went for the interview. They took him on, sponsored. You see, guys, don't be fooled when somebody says to you, you can't get sponsorship. I think it's a mirage. Okay? If one door is what? What do you do? When this lady came in for our training program, she just called me, please. I'll tell you the challenge I have, particularly when I have to train, the other people. They don't know me before I get into the training room. So when I get into the training room, I get into the hotel, and I usher them and say, right, okay, so can we get, they're like, huh? And I say to them, you either listen to me, or you fail. Then you see them, okay, I think it doesn't have to do with the color. You get the idea? It has nothing to do with this color, okay? All it's got is what? What you have up there. When this lady came in, she said to me, that's Coste, she said to me, in the last 30 years, I have never done an exam. I am afraid. I said, you know what, lady? Let's ride this boat together. When we finished 4 days of training, the week after the training, she went to the board. And then she sent an email to me. She said, you know what, when I was speaking to them at the board meeting, they were like, we never knew you had all this. Where did you keep all this? Yeah, you know what? All she did was tap into it. Now there is power in that synergy. And that is what we all need to make sure that we're tapping into. They say I should press on. I'm pressing on. Hey, I'm pressing on. Hey, pressing on. Hey, come on, press on. What do you do for me? You're not. Can I ask you a challenging question? What will you do if you cannot do or if you cannot practice nursing again? You got a mic there.
That's a bit difficult because that's why as I said before, that's my passion. So my passion is to look after people, to care for people.
Yeah.
So I'll probably look for another opportunity,
Right.
something similar, in similar field, really.
Okay. What do you do, sir? Yeah. I think we know you. Yes, sir.
I'm a drugs specialist, drug safety specialist.
Why are you sorry? Why look at this man? You say sorry. You are drug witting. Drug witting you be, my friend.
Drug safety specialist.
The guy is even afraid of his profession. Drug safety specialist. So you tell us a little about that.
Well, basically it involves assessing most of the medication within the markets and making sure there's safety and all that kind of stuff. So I do advise pharmacists, doctors, and stuff.
Okay.
And provide all those leaflets as well.
Fantastic.
People don't read that all, so.
Oh, they don't read it.
Yeah, the leaflet people don't bother to read, but yeah. So that's why.
Okay. And what if tomorrow you cannot do that?
I'll probably do something else I enjoy doing.
Like?
Play football.
So you're going to football. Now, do you know why I've said that? My dear, it's simply this. Don't ask what the world needs. People are tired of asking that. No, don't ask it again. You know what? You ask what makes you come alive. Yeah? And go do it. I love Nike's slogan. Just. Okay? Because what the world needs is people who what? will come alive. I took permission from this mentee because I'm currently working with her, and we're at a point now where at least she's now found herself. You see, let's be honest with ourselves, guys. Except you can locate yourself, except you can ask yourself, you can answer that question, who actually are you? Who are you? Can you talk to somebody and ask the question? Ask the question. And wait for an answer. Wait for an answer. Wait for an answer. Who are you? Who you be? Who you be? You know yourself. Are you sure? You know yourself. Until you can answer that question of who you are, you've not even started the journey at all. Now, enough of 9 to 5. My dear, 9 to 5. What does he do? I said of this lady that finally she's gotten to a point where she understands herself. And you know what she said to me? Olu, what I'm good at, my passion is for fashion. I love that. She's got a passion for what? For fashion. Ooh. And I said, tell me about this. And you know where people really understand this passion? Then it's as if they go out there. And she went, you really have what? Passion for fashion. So stick to it. Now what we can do within the network is identify how we can support that passion. Nurture it in such a way that it can what? It can grow. So you'll be going into the NHS, presumably, yeah? Okay. And hopefully finish it off for me. Come on.
I feel that nursing is like a stepping stone for me.
Which one?
It's a stepping stone.
Which stone?
It's like a step towards the end.
Okay, so tell us where you're going. Where you going? Yeah.
Something in the field of health governance, either commissioning or CQC.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so you've got a site. Okay? Because if you don't know your destination, if you don't know where you're getting to, you don't know where you're really, what's your site, where are you getting, you've got to start doing what we call the backward integration exercise. What's the backward integration? You know the end from what? From the beginning. And you start working back that way. If you want to run from here, and they say, where are you going actually? They say, I don't know. No, you've got to have it in sight first. So your passion, not for fashion now. In fact, you know what the lady said to me? She wants to set up a one-stop shop. I said, this woman, you've not even started. You are thinking of one stop. And I could hear, you could see the passion. One-stop shop. Okay, let's help you with this one-stop shop. Okay, so let's work together. Let's work that synergy together in such a way that now you're going into CQC, you're going into governance. Now there will be people who understand data protection. There will be people who understand drug, for which you need their expertise. There will be the nurse here who knows where you need not to tread on. There'll be a pastor there who knows how to pray and fast for you while you are eating all the food. No, pastor. It's good. Almost. Okay. But interesting. Now, guys, this is going to be your chance to take action on your dreams. How many of us have dreams here? You got dreams? Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, tell us your dream, Moji.
To be a professor.
Prof. Okay, so you know what? Let's start calling her prof from today. But what do? You're going to work, you're going to take action towards what? Getting to that professor. Have you seen a prof that does not read books? Have you seen a prof that does not write papers? Are you there with, even if they are going to donate honorary professor to you, you must have in your paw. Talk to me, sir.
I don't mean to hijack your
Hijack it.
interpretation.
Hijack.
Still in the act of church, praise God.
Yeah.
Somebody like myself, I'll just use myself as an example.
Yeah.
Like, from the slide you showed earlier, I didn't have every opportunity like laid down before me on the table. Though I had, strong word like my dad always constantly saying part of what Pastor mentioned earlier on from Ecclesiastes 10:10. So I did a bit of training back in Nigeria before I came down about 15, 16 years ago.
Okay.
And I was working with Mobilon on that training as perspective as a field technician.
Okay.
So coming down to this country, I never had papers. I actually worked on that as well. So up until this very moment, like Tiga, I ended up picking up an SIA training up until now. So I'm still on that line at the moment, but forgetting what I was trained on back in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So on this basis, like now, what sort of opportunity as a person do you think I'm going to sort of be achieving on this program that we've got now?
Okay. I think you started from the right position. And what's the right position? Is knowing yourself.
Okay.
Right? Because the delusion that quite a lot of people do, and let's retract a little bit. What you cannot afford to do, and I say this with a passion, please, is you cannot afford to be a copycat. You're unique. You're yourself. You're peculiar. You're special. Do you know what? Even to God, the scripture says, he neither sleep nor what? Nor slumber. So you know what? When he looks at you, what's your name, sir?
Kende.
Kende. When he looks at you, Kende, he sees everything that he wants to see in you. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Now, what you now want to do is, with the skills and the talent that he has given you, what actually can you make out of it? Okay, so we've got a journey, we've got a starting point, and of course we've got where we're going. So within this network, what we're now saying is this: now that you've identified yourself, you're looking at it, is there anybody within this network that is actually going to help me fulfill that dream? Okay, now listen, there is the greatest fool in the world is the one that is going to say to you, he or she has got everything. In fact, the moment you hear somebody says to you, sorry, pardon me, Kende, you know where in Yoruba land we say a person does not call himself what? Awa.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daddy. Yeah? Have you seen where one person says, we have come? No. You are a singular person. But you need the synergy of what? Of everybody. Now, can I take you back a little bit to the problems I had? And maybe some of you can identify with that. When I came into the UK, I had people who knew how I could get a provisional driver's license. Guys, provisional. What's the qualification to get a provisional driver's license?
Just home address.
Do you know what? Ordinary telling me that, Obeni, take this, exactly, go to the post office. The form is free. Are you getting my point? Complete this. Put your. You don't even. Oh! And before you know it, you get something in a post with your.
Pictures of it.
Nobody told me that. Yeah? And this is where information becomes key. I told my, and for those of you who got friends, okay, I mean, I've just told you about my son now. He's thinking, of, uni and all that. Dad, I want to go to America. I said, America what? America what? When I came into Scotland, I never knew that the Scottish government will say, you can do, back home we have free education. In Scotland, we have free education. University level. No, we don't pay. No, students don't pay for university education. So I've got a place where you can do your uni free. Then you're telling me I want University of Surrey. I'll say, I will surrey your head. I don't have 9,000 to come, Edinburgh, Dundee, Aberdeen. Peace, free information is what? Is key. I just mentioned to you of the lady that, finally got ourselves together. She's done a program with us, but then, you see, because in our palace, what we work just very close to what you're doing in here, possibly maybe outside the church setting, because, in fact, we've had Muslims come into our sessions. Okay, we come into our training sessions and stuff like that, and and this particular lady, she had opened or registered a company, and I said to her, "Oh, hang on, did you also get a bank account?" "Oh no, the banks, they won't open." I said, "No, you're making a mistake. Information is key. I can introduce you to a company service that will register your company." Now, hang on. You don't call the bank. The bank will phone you to book an appointment. And you know what? When you open that account, they give you £30 cash back. And yet, some of us will go to the bank. The moment they see you, they have gone. Okay, go and bring your mother's certificate. And your father's birth certificate. And so why don't you play it on the flip side? So, my brother, this is where the information is going to be key. Now, I ask myself a big question. What actually do I see as the outcome? Because, I train on project management, and I have three things that come to mind. We've got what we call the output. We've got what we call the outcome. And of course, we've got what we call the benefit. What am I seeing as the benefit of you coming in here? Kende, yes. I'm hoping that what would have taken you 7 years to achieve, by the synergy in this group, by the information that is provided, you can achieve it in 7 months. I'm looking forward to when you will say to yourself, you know what? I never knew that there was a grant. Guys, free money. Huh? Oyibo people, they put money in a pocket, in a box. They say, come and take. Use it to do something. Work with it. Let the money work for you. So sometimes we go to the bank and we're looking for, I want a loan, I want this, I want that, and yet there are free resources, there are government gateways, government avenues, that will challenge you to those things. And these are the relevant information that this will give you. So, Prof, how what this network will help will be such that if you're already thinking that for you to become a prof, you will need this 25-year journey. Do we have senior profs that we can drag into this network who will signpost our prof to say, let's show you how your papers, how you present, let's show you the topics that sell. Yeah? Let's show you those who are going to review your papers, those who are going to review all the things you're writing so that we can facilitate this in a good time. And so, we've got to embrace what? The reality. The reality is this. Don't go out there thinking, oh, all I'm just looking for is just get me this job, you know. As long as I wake up in the morning and chop on the train on the bus and get home at 5 o'clock. No, you won't even get home at 5, you leave there at 5. No, right? But what can you do at home? How can you be relevant to the scheme of things at home such that you're delivering value, you're adding value, and they're saying, how many of you have gone into Asda and seen Asian food in the shops? Yeah? In Asda. 7 years ago, would Asda allow it? Somebody thought of it. Yeah? Now, let me ask you, why are we still selling our gari only in African shop?
Nobody stole it.
Sir?
Nobody stole it.
Yeah? Are you in business? Is anybody in sales and marketing? Can you push it? Got a movie, you know, they do in Nollywood and all that. You got a new movie produced here in the UK. The guy didn't need to go back home to do it. So what I'm saying is that what's your passion? What do you crave to do? With your nursing, my dear, what I'm saying is it possible for you to say, well, you know what, if I down my tools today as a nurse, I can go into creative writing. Yeah? Is it possible for you to say, you know what, I want to stop doing the work on the shop floor? Now those guys as managers, those ones managing the nurses, are they not human beings also? Do they have two heads? No, they've got just one head like us do. So why can't you manage those resources? That's the point I'm making. Process. Right? Come on, praise. Come and praise him. Come and praise him. You know, this morning I picked this up. And it caught my fancy, and I was like, in fact, when I saw it, I thought the guy was dead. How many of you know him? You Sabia? Now, what does it say? He says, honor the great. You know what people are clamoring for? They want to give him knighthood. Yeah, he's coming next week, you know, to the UK to open, yeah, the British, you know, so they're clamoring. Yeah? You didn't get it. I will give it to you.
No, they want to.
Ben. I know the people clamoring, yeah? Boris Johnson, yeah? These are the ones saying, yeah, we should be Sir. Exactly, Sir Muhammad Ali. Listen, does it have to do with this color? And the point we're trying to make is this. Guys, folks, we've got that creativity in us. And until we break out of the cocoon of seeing ourselves only on, I wake up, I go to work, I come back, I sleep, wake up. In fact, can I ask? You know this is open forum. Pastor, you are the one I'm going to ask this question. When was the last holiday, sir? Last holiday.
That was in, no, this is
When is your next one, sir? Sir, where? July. In 2 years' time, sir. No. Are you in July? You're going to Austria. You're going to Norway.
somewhere around.
But you know what? Yet we're in those offices. Do you notice? Sorry, what's the name, sir? Yeah, you know me. Yes, sir. You, sir. Sir? Kwamile. I like the name with a smile. Before 5 o'clock, you know what happens in the offices? The ladies are already up, washing the cups, doing the makeup. Once it's 5, what do you see? The traditional, see ya! My brother, my sister. That is when you start your own work. Hey, they won't kill me here. Hey, now me and them, you are good. Add value in such a way that even when you are not there, they are jittery. Yeah? Your analysis skills. Yes, sir.
Sir, does that mean that working late is wrong?
It will be wrong
On what kind, sir?
if they are not paying you.
But if that makes you to get that to have value in such a way that when you're not there,
Yeah,
then they go into massive panic.
I agree with you, sir. What is the price for that 1 minute that you are spending, sir?
But what if you're not getting an immediate payment,
Yeah.
but you have a target that are a long-term benefit that you will accrue by doing that?
And you've got a point there. Yes. But of course, remember, what we're saying is that you make sure that that is your target and that is your focus. I'll share with you something very personal. And I love this because it's an open forum. My wife works as a housing officer. She gets to our desk even before our manager. And she works with Edinburgh Council. I love this. And I share with a passion. She came back 2 days ago and said, you know what? They said they're going to have a whole meeting. There's a reorganization in Edinburgh Council and this and that and that. And then they put a strategy in place for those ones they're going to retain and those ones that are going to be in consideration. They think of themselves what? First. Like Pastor said, what are you doing to actually what? Add value. I showed you this. How many times have you gone by the train station? It's free of charge, sir, and you picked it up and you found information in it. Yeah? For some of us, even going by London and we see metro, what are they reading? We should source for this information. Yeah. We source for this information everywhere and in all places. Okay? This is the website of the lady I was talking about. She's the editor of this magazine. That's the website. Blank. Can you go to the next one, please? If you can. So, big question for you is not your degree, is not your qualification. What I intend that you'll be looking at is what can I do to get on a career path I feel is worthy of my accomplishment. Hey, even my man is just pressing, help me, Ade, help me. It has moved. So for hiring managers, like we said, what they do is this. They need to hear you articulate how you will either save or make them money. Because that's the bottom line. Yeah? So, sir, How are you going to be saving that money in that organization? How are you going to be making money for that organization? And that's the move, my friend. And that's what, guys, I think we've got to get that time where we're placing value on our time. In this network, the synergy should be where we're looking at ourselves and we're saying, where is, listen, the information, the food that is meant for the children. Before they hear outside. 3-4 brothers, they're already gotten it. Sisters, you hear that there is something happening in this area, right? Before they hear, share it. That's where this network, that is the value will be. It's not, we're talking of things that's going to move people forward. We're talking of things that's going to add value to what we're doing. We're talking of courses. We're talking of programs. You know, there are even free FOC, free of charge. That's FOC, free of charge. Programs that you can attend, already funded. I'll give you one. The government funded a program, and they still fund it on a regular basis. So if you have friends up north, and I'll be sending, I'll share some of this information, you know, I'll just get in touch with Pastor and say, this is what I see is happening, you know, if anybody is interested in it. There's a program run in partnership with Strathclyde University. The program runs just once in a month. It's a once in a month training, leadership and management training. But you know what? When you finish that program, you get a certificate from the University of Strathclyde. As at 2 years ago, they shifted it from Strathclyde, moved it to Glasgow. It's still funded. In fact, when you attend the program, you know what? Madam, free lunch. They give you free lunch. You eat food free. And the pack, because you do Miles Briggs and all this management, they push you into untapped territories. And it's not just up there. You've got them all over the whole place. But all I'm saying is that we need to begin to tap into these opportunities and see how we can make the best out of it. So until we go away from just, so you need to quantify yourself, like I said. So you're going out for that job. Put a price tag on yourself, sir. Put a price tag on yourself, man. And if you're going to put a value on yourself, then of course you've got to quantify that. Okay, so somebody's offering you a job, 25,000 per annum, and you know what you're saying to them? With my wealth of experience. In fact, you know what? I think for some of us, we're even shy to talk about some of the things that we've done back in Africa.